In 1982, the skies above the South Atlantic became a deadly arena. The British Royal Navy was outnumbered, outgunned, and flying outdated jets off tiny carriers. But somehow, their Sea Harriers, small, subsonic jump jets, managed to dominate the skies. This is the true story of how British pilot strategy and raw nerve turned the tide of the Falklands War and humiliated a superior air force. When Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands, Britain was 8,000 miles away and caught off guard. No nearby bases, no airstrips, just 2 aircraft carriers and a handful of Sea Harriers. Meanwhile, Argentina had over 200 modern aircraft stationed on the mainland. Mirages, Daggers, Skyhawks. Fast, dangerous, and close. It looked like the Royal Navy was walking into a slaughter. But appearances can be deceiving. At first glance, the Sea Harrier looked outmatched. It wasn't fast, it wasn't high-tech, it wasn't intimidating, but it had one thing the Argentine jets didn't: the right team behind it. Harrier pilots were handpicked, highly trained in air combat, and backed by a system built for flexibility and speed. Their jets had vertical takeoff, compact design, and crucially AIM-9L sidewinders, missiles that could lock on from any direction. This made them deadly in dogfights, especially in the close-range, fast-paced chaos over the Falklands. Here's what made the difference: tactics. Instead of chasing kills, British pilots flew in tight patrols, always protecting the fleet. They stayed low to avoid radar, they struck fast, and they vanished before Argentine fighters could react. Meanwhile, Argentine pilots had to fly long missions from the mainland, with barely enough fuel to reach the islands and return. No time for combat, no margin for error. And worse, their outdated missiles could only hit from behind, while British missiles hit from any angle. Every mission became a gamble, and the Harriers cashed in. Day after day, Harrier pilots punched above their weight. On May 1st, they claimed their first kills, shooting down Mirages and forcing the Argentine Air Force onto the defensive. Over San Carlos water during Britain's amphibious landings, Harriers defended the fleet under intense pressure. Argentine jets dove in, but were swatted out of the sky. Pilots like Sharkey Ward became legends, taking out multiple enemy aircraft while dodging missile fire and flak. By the war's end, British pilots had shot down over 20 enemy aircraft, losing none in air-to-air combat. Not bad for an inferior jet. The Falklands War became a masterclass in how quality, training, and tactics can crush quantity. The Sea Harrier was never meant to win a war, but in the right hands, it became unstoppable. It showed that you don't need the fastest jet. You need the smartest plan, the right weapons, and pilots who know exactly when to strike. In the cold skies over the South Atlantic, it wasn't about who had the biggest air force. It was about who used it best. The Falklands Air War rewrote the rules of modern aerial combat. It proved that even in a technological mismatch, skill and strategy still matter. And it cemented the Sea Harrier as one of the most underestimated aircraft in history. If you enjoyed this dive into real military strategy and forgotten heroism, make sure to subscribe for more incredible war stories. Until next time, stay sharp and never underestimate the underdog.